Hey y'all, what's going on? Pavel with DIT Media here, and today we'll take a look at the new exciting product from Aputure. This product is actually not that new at all. It came out in September of 2020, but due to the supply line disruptions and everything else going on in the world, it took me a long time to get my hands on these because literally everybody's sold out, apparently. Today we will be talking about Aputure B7C light bulbs. Granted, these were not sent to me by Aputure or anyone else. I have purchased them from my local store in Atlanta with my own money. Let's take a look what comes in the box. Well, you get the light bulb itself. You get, this is the box. You get the pouch, you get the manual, and that's it. There's no charging cable included here because these bulbs do not charge from a USB-C port or micro USB. They charge when they're plugged into a light bulb socket, just like this one. Even though that is how most of these bulbs will be used, I still think that it would have been nice to include a USB-C charging port on the side for those situations when you want to use these bulbs outside of their traditional setting. There are 3 buttons on the bulb: on, off, plus and minus, to adjust brightness. There are instructions on the side of the bulb as to which combination of buttons does what, which I find extremely helpful because there is no menu or LED screen to change functionality, and I really don't want to be memorizing these things. Even though there is no menu on the bulb itself, all of the functions can be controlled via a CitusLink or CitusLink app, however you pronounce that, by the way. Sorry if I did mispronounce it, which you get on your phone. Let me also say that Aputure did a really great job with this app. I've been using it more and more recently, and it works pretty much flawlessly. Fixtures get detected very quickly, the layout is fairly intuitive, and I'm really happy that it is Bluetooth-based and not Wi-Fi. That, to me, is a really big deal. As someone who likes tech and tries out all sorts of equipment, I've always had problems with Wi-Fi connected lights. Sometimes they disconnect, sometimes it's a pain to set them up, sometimes they only work on a 2.4 gigahertz network, or Wi-Fi security settings are preventing lights from connecting. Basically, there are all sorts of issues that I have run into with my Wi-Fi bulbs. I actually had to upgrade my home system to a Unifi-based one to deal with all sorts of Wi-Fi related issues. I am also happy that Aputure did not go the Astera route, which requires you to have the Astera box to connect to the lights, which will set you back $400 just for the box alone. Instead, they developed a Bluetooth-based solution that works across many products that Aputure offers. So I applaud them by going the Bluetooth route instead of the Wi-Fi-based one. Let me know in the comments, guys, which system you prefer, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and which one works out better for you. There are many smart bulbs on the market from many companies. So what's so special about these ones? What do they offer that the other ones do not, especially for the price of $70 per bulb? Well, these are not your typical smart bulbs. First of all, they have a built-in battery, which can be really handy if you just want to place those bulbs on the bookshelf, somewhere else, to backlight an item, or just put them in a fixture that doesn't necessarily have power, but you want to have it in the shot for aesthetic purposes. According to Aputure, the battery life will last you about 70 minutes on full power and over 20 hours on minimum brightness. If you're actually interested in a really technical analysis and verification of this, I recommend you guys check out Gerald Undone channel, since he also did a review of these bulbs and has actually timed how long they last. As I mentioned before, they do have 3 buttons on the bulb, so you do have intensity control as well as the color temperature control without using the app itself, which is really handy if all you want to do is just turn it on and then adjust the brightness. Okay, enough of the technical stuff. Let's talk about the most important aspects of these bulbs. What can they actually do for you? Can they actually help you with your work, or are they just an unnecessary complication? And needless expense. Let's not forget that. Well, that depends on what you expect from this tool. As I always say, having more gear will not make you a better filmmaker. And I realize the irony, of course, since it seems like all I talk about is gear. But it is true nonetheless. Some of the best movies out there have been done with minimal equipment, but they've had a really good story and people involved really knew their craft. There are 3 primary uses that I personally can think of for these lights. Number 1, if you're shooting a scene with a lot of practicals, these bulbs can really help you achieve a consistent color temperature or achieve a really quirky look. That depends on your taste and preference. Somewhat related, if you are shooting an interview and you have a lamp in the shot, you can easily adjust the color temperature and brightness based on the look that you're looking for. as opposed to traditional LEDs where you either have to adjust you put a dimmer on it, or you have to put an actual ND gel, or you have to put like a CTB or a CTO on it to achieve the desired color temperature, which kind of takes time and sometimes is inconvenient. Needless to say, with this bulb, it's a lot quicker to make these adjustments. And again, even without using the app, because you have controls on the bulb itself. If you're shooting a scene in a movie, for example, or an interview, and you want to backlight an item, or such as a book, or you want to just have a shelf that has some sort of light on it, or any other item, you can easily backlight or create a really interesting look with these bulbs because it has a built-in battery. Again, I wish Aputure included the USB-C port or a micro USB port to allow a power brick to be attached to this bulb for these types of situations. Maybe a version 2 will do that. All in all, these are the main uses for these bulbs that I came up with. If you guys can think about any additional uses, please let me know in the comments below. So, as with any piece of tech, there's got to be some cons. So, what are they with these specific bulbs? Well, for instance, I have spoken to a cinematographer friend of mine, and he told me that because this is a non-traditional bulb layout, meaning that the light is concentrated on the top, because of its shape, the emitted light will be only limited to the top of the fixture, so the top of the lamp, instead of, having a full even spread across the entire bulb. To me, that is not really an issue, and it's not a big limitation because I can work around that, especially considering the benefit of ease of use and just quick setup and everything else that you get with this bulb. Now again, I've said this before, obviously no USB-C or no micro USB port. I already mentioned why I would have loved to have one. And the other con, sort of, is charging. So I know that Aputure has a kit that they sell that has 8 bulbs in a case. And so far, I was not able to find a case for purchase by itself. Now, maybe I just didn't look enough, or maybe they will do that later on in the year, but I could not find it anywhere just by itself. So I hope that that will change soon, and you'll be able to just, let's say, buy a case and fill it in with bulbs later. But for now, the only option you really have is either to, put it in the obviously existing fixture, which might not be convenient if you have regular bulbs in there, like at your house or something, and you have to constantly, flip them back and forth. Not really convenient. Or you have to purchase basically a light harness from a hardware store and, just have it on the shelf somewhere, which, aesthetically speaking, might not be the most preferable thing that you might do. So in any case, in conclusion, what can we say about these bulbs? Well, I've had them for a limited time, and they're also very new, so I will not tell you to go out and buy them based on my review, because there might be issues down the line that I'm not aware of. But again, we're living in the world of tech. That is the case with literally anything else new that comes on the market. However, if you're like me and you like toying with new tech and have some spare cash, go ahead, buy maybe 1 or 2 of them and try them out and see if you discover some things about them that I have missed, or maybe these bulbs will help you achieve your unique creative vision. As always, guys, please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you find that I missed something. That's how we all learn. Honestly, I love answering comments. I love reading what people write to me, and it's really engaging and helps me learn new things as well. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Follow me on my Instagram, where I usually post when I get some new stuff. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.